I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody. We're at the Mitchell County Courthouse, Tuesday, February 1st. And for the Board of Supervisor meeting, we have an agenda in front of us. Has everybody had a chance to look it over?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Steve has made a motion to approve it.
Second.
Jim has seconded it. Any discussion? Oh, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed, okay. Approve the minutes of the January 25th meeting.
Make a motion to approve the January 25th meeting.
Mark has made a motion to approve the January 25th meeting. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Todd has seconded it. Is there any discussion on that further?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Item number 3, County Attorney General discussion. Do you have anything for us today?
Well, I guess Jim, working with Rachel on a couple of things. I know she's waiting on me for a thing or two, so I'll try and get that taken care of. I guess the one thing I noticed that yesterday, I suppose it must have come yesterday, it might have been Friday. I saw it yesterday, were some, it looks to be, I haven't examined it real closely, but it looks like the attorney for the county in Russ Kephart case, he's filed that case against, there's 2 or 3, matters kind of going on. Got the one case against him, and then he's brought a case against the county, right? So on that case, the attorney who's representing the county, which is, hired by the insurance company, looks like he filed a motion for summary judgment in that case to try and have that case dismissed against the county. I've not, it's a pretty thick packet, I've not gone through it completely yet. I've been through those before, so I'm sure it's probably not very light reading. If anybody wants a copy of it, I'll give it to you. Like I said, I plan to probably sit down and kind of go through it today. There's nothing we do, because he's representing the county, so we don't respond to it or anything like that. It'll be up to Kephart and his attorney to respond to it. Typically, what will happen is they will, judge will, after a motion like that is filed, I think the rules of civil procedure say, you're supposed to have like 14 days to respond. It's not very much time to respond, whenever I'm on this side having to respond to a motion for summary judgment, I always ahead of time say, well, I'm going to need more time because 14 days just isn't enough. So I would anticipate that Kephart and his attorney will be given a little more time to respond. Maybe not. They may not need it. But what will happen is at some point the judge will set the matter for a hearing on that motion. And then they'll argue it out, based on what their motions say and everything. So nothing for anybody to do right now. I just noticed that did come in yesterday. Thought I would let you know at least kind of what's going on. Guess that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to review any of that stuff, let me know. I suspect it's probably, it's probably not very light reading, and I was talking to somebody the other day, I won't take too much time here, but I was talking to somebody the other day on a different matter, not on this, but I was talking about sometimes when you get to reading some of these legal things, and your mind can get so kind of bent out of shape that if somebody were to put one of those books in front of me, like, you know, Seed, Spot, Run, or Dick and Jane, you know, the first, second grade books, sometimes by the time you get through going some of this legal stuff, you read one of those, if you were to read one of those books, they wouldn't make sense, because everything just gets twisted in your head. But anyway, that's the update. If you want a copy of anything, let me know. I'm gonna sit down and go through it. If there's anything of note in there that I think, oh, you know, supervisors need to know, I will certainly point that out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, that's what I have.
Would you, if it does come, would you go and just kind of to be there during the trial, or doesn't it really matter?
It doesn't matter. I don't have to typically. Probably. Now, it also might be very, you know, possible. Now, I don't know if this would happen, but let's just say, you know, I probably wouldn't be a witness, because I really haven't been involved now. You know, Mark was involved in ahead of time. If somebody was going to be a witness, he might be a witness. I don't know that I would be, because I didn't really have much to do with it. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is if that were to be the case, for example, you know, like maybe Mark was going to be a witness, or I was going to be a witness. Sometimes a judge will sequester people and they'll say, okay, none of you can come into this courtroom until you've testified. And then once you've testified, you can stay in there. So if something like that were to happen, then we'd probably be kind of not able to be in there until we testified. I don't necessarily anticipate that happening. Generally speaking, when the county's involved in a trial or a motion, I think unless there's a good reason not to, I think most of the time the county attorney probably should be there, even if it's not the county attorney running the show.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
So, does anybody else have any questions? No.
All right,
Okay.
thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron. Moving on, number 4, the sheriff update. Do you have anything for us today?
So the only thing that I would make you aware of is down the road about 6 months is that we'll have a homicide trial here in August coming out of Sarasota County. And so there'll be some work with that. Typically, Sarasota County will handle the courthouse security, but we'll be involved, so we'll be able to handle that out. But that's currently scheduled for late August. So, just a heads up on that, and if that date changes or somehow the case resolves and we don't have an election. That's the way it always happens.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Greg? No? Okay, well, thank you. Item 5, department head discussion. Do you have any department heads that?
I'll give my no update. I still haven't heard from the state with the LSA supervisor districts.
Okay. Okay, what would you do? No. Okay. Other than that, looks like nobody else, so. Now we're up to the county engineer update.
Morning.
Rich, morning.
Let you guys look at these. These are the plan sets. You guys, so in the past, sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't had the board sign off on a set of plans. I asked Worth County, they didn't seem to want to sign off on a set of plans. It's not a requirement that I know of to have the board sign it. Do you guys want to sign the title sheets of every plan that comes out of the county? I mean, it's up to you guys. Some counties do, some counties don't. Did a lot of them without it, so otherwise we don't need to have you sign the set of plans today if you don't want to. I mean, I don't know that it's a requirement. It's a project that was in the program, it's budgeted, you know, it's up to you guys if you guys want to or not. I'm okay without it.
Yeah.
Okay?
What's been done in the past, just,
Okay.
What's this project for?
This is
Yeah.
the bridge north of Stacyville that
oh, that one.
we
Okay.
made delay based on 105.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
right now, it's progressing in the letting. We've got all of our stuff ready, so turn-in date's today, and it doesn't matter whether the title, my signature's on it, which is the important signature anyway, so it's still gonna go through, but we can always pull it out of letting before the letting, so. I never asked you guys before, we never really worried too much about it, but the DOT asked about it. I said, well, we haven't in the past, so I thought I'd ask you guys if you guys really seem to worry about it or not. Okay, then we'll just kind of skip that.
As long as you keep us updated all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
think I ever have not told you when
Correct.
plans are going in and everything else. If you want to look at a set of plans, I can leave these here for you too to look at. So,
I'd like to.
yeah, I'll leave them here.
Are they just cement tubes, is that what it's gonna be?
Oh, no, yeah, it's gonna be concrete, yeah.
Or concrete
culverts.
tubes?
Yep, yep. So, I'll leave them here for you guys.
Okay, yeah.
You just fight over them.
Okay.
And then we have 2 detour revocation agreements for the DOT. One was for the use of I think, T-38 when they closed 218 in Floyd. The other one is the use of our road on the west side of the county when they did a culvert project on Highway 9. We might get enough money for a few loads of rock or a few tons of salt, so. Since you guys signed the detour agreements, I'm gonna have you guys sign the revocation agreements, so.
So do we need a, well, for the bridge, we don't need a.
No, you can skip the
We
bridge
just skip
thing
the
if you guys
bridge
don't
one,
wanna sign
okay.
it.
So now we need a approve for the US 218 detour. Need a motion and a second on that?
I'll move to make that motion.
Second. Kyle's made the motion, Steve is second. Any other discussion on that?
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Don.
Aye.
And then we have the, approve the detour for Iowa 9. Is that,
It's
that's the same.
revocation for the detour that was on, they were using, I think we used Balsam Avenue before we had to shut down, so.
We need a motion and a second on that? I'll
Move
make
to-
a motion to approve that.
Second.
Okay, I made a motion, Jim is second. Any more discussion on that?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Mike.
All right.
Mark.
Aye.
Okay, so
Okay.
when I send them in, they'll send me an email saying the check's in the mail. Two things. One, I was gonna turn in the resolution for the vacation of the 400th Street road that we vacated in December. I need to send it to DOT so they can take it off of our road list. However, after talking with Aaron a little bit, the description that was put into that was incorrect.
Correct.
I didn't get a chance to look at it before it sent out, so I'll try to come up with a better description for Aaron to work on, and I don't know what else needs to really kind of.
I think, of course, I talked with Rachel about this, she seems to know exactly what's going on, so if I say something here that's, because I've got documentation on it with me, so if I say something here that's not quite right, then Rachel can correct me. But, my understanding is, and I don't remember exactly when that was done, was it December?
December 14th, I believe, I think was.
And, am I correct, Rachel, that the wrong description got put in? So what is actually, and I don't know where that description came from.
I didn't provide it. I didn't get to review it before it went
I don't
through.
know. I don't know. Mark prepared documents, I don't know where you got the description, or, I don't know.
Maybe he got that through Schwartz.
Well, it was probably just a misunderstanding, because we all knew here which section we were gonna do, and it just, in the description, might have gotten lost in translation.
He's out of town, Mark is, where is he?
So we're warm on that.
Dominican Republic, I think, but anyway,
Paying them too good.
so I think what actually did happen, am I right, is the wrong part of the alley got vacated.
Yeah.
And so,
They did section 2 instead of 3, I want to say it was.
Yeah, and the
Right.
description was a little confusing on my own. I just reviewed it, so I'll try to come up with a better
well,
description.
I think I think we know what's supposed to, what the
I
description
can
is.
send you what,
Yeah, what it's supposed to be.
between the auditor and assessor put together.
Yeah, and so what I plan to do is we'll probably just have to kind of redo, we'll have to just kind of go through that process again of vacating the right part of it, right? And deeding, and then, deeding that to, that property. You got the other part that, this is where it's a little confusing generally. So, somebody got deeded part of an alley that they weren't supposed to get deeded, which I don't even know, probably don't even know they got, I don't know. And in fact, anyway, I think what we'll probably do is, probably the simplest thing is, if somebody got a deed, deeding property that wasn't supposed to be deeded, which is, frankly, not all that uncommon. It's drives you crazy when it happens, but it happens. Probably going to try and get a deed back, just kind of nullifying that first deed. Right? But anyway, I think from what Rich's perspective is we'll just kind of do a new proceeding, vacating the right part.
Yeah.
Right?
I just wanted to bring it aware to you guys
Right.
that something got goofed up, we need to change that.
Yeah.
Because right now, currently, the wrong section of road's been vacated. We're not gonna
Right.
treat it that way, obviously, but we wanna make it right, so I can get it to the DOT, and they can take that section of road off of our road list.
Okay.
Was it the east side of the intersection that
Oh,
got put in?
really? That's a road.
Yeah, that's a road.
Can we
Okay.
do more?
Yeah.
Anyway, so just so you guys are aware that we're working on the solution to that problem.
Okay.
And second of all, this just came up last night, and I'm just putting it out there as a seed right now. I was contacted by Caterpillar. They have several used motor graders to get rid of. They're 2015 vintage models, similar to what we already have, 12 M3s, but they happen to be all-wheel drives. And they have full snow equipment. And they're right around 2,000 hours or less. And they're asking pretty decent pricing. We've got an old fleet of Volvos that are getting difficult to find parts for. So, I'm asking him to give me all the information he can on those machines. I think he said there's 8 of them, so I might even talk to Worth County a little bit too and see if we can kind of get rid of these Volvos. But this is just a seed to plant. You guys can say no, obviously. But we had talked about financing Hickory with local dollars out of the current secondary road budget. And this is just a thought, and it's, I don't know, if we were to TIF that road, I could utilize those funds for some some equipment instead. I could free up that money and buy some, we could take the 2015 machines that have 6,000-7,000 hours on them now, turn them into our backups and bring these 2015s in with lower hours and start utilizing them. It's just a thought right now. I'm not saying that's the direction you should take, but I wanted to bring it to you right away so we could think about this a little bit, because these machines are gonna be available maybe by the end of March. So, just something to think about with funding and everything else. Maybe it's not possible, maybe you guys don't wanna do that, but sometimes it doesn't seem like these deals come around, and they're looking at, I don't know, I think they were just a little, we bid our last machine with trade-in at $318,000 for a new cat. These are probably about 60,000 less. And they're older machines, but they got not many hours on them. So just ponder on it. I don't want an answer from anybody.
So related to that, when are you gonna know about the 105 bridge? I mean, as far as
Yeah,
tying two things together possibly.
what's that?
Tying two things together possibly.
Oh, well, we have to, the engineer I'm working with is on vacation right now, so he's been on vacation. He was on vacation, he's coming back, then he's gonna be on another vacation, so it's gonna be hard to get in touch with him, but I'm gonna guess hopefully by mid-February, we can have that conversation about, I think what I'm aiming towards is doing the temporary fix, getting it open, and then designing a new bridge. I think it's just probably the best thing to do. The bridge is well into its lifespan of usefulness right now, even though the top is good, we put something new underneath it, the top is still gonna be old and that's gonna need to be fixed, we might as well just kind of bite the bullet and somehow strategize on how we're gonna pay for it, but, which we could do if we pull that project out and wait for a little while on that one, since that one's not
Not in dire need
weight
for that one.
restricted yet, so.
Yep.
There's a lot of things moving here, and this just adds another thing to it. It's just a thought. Like I said, it's a thought. We don't have to do anything. But
How many Volvos do you have?
we have, I think we have 7 or 6. We've got one, well, we're supposed to be trading one in.
Have you got the new one that you see? And that's a cat, correct?
Yeah.
But these cats you're gonna get will just be spares anyway for the winter time.
Well, the ones that we are using now will push into our spares, and we'll use the ones with fewer hours on as our main machines. So yeah, we'll be pushing cats with 6,000 and 7,000 hours as spares, and then utilizing, even though they're old machines that have fewer hours on them, we could use them. Otherwise, I don't know. You know, I get it. The Volvos are spares. We use them 4 months out of the year. And right now, they're working okay. Maybe there's better deals down the road too. But parts are getting harder and harder to find. And I know in Worth County now, we're just keeping one around to salvage parts off of because we can't get parts. So it's not a decision we're making now. It's not one that I know that we're gonna make, but I'm trying to get all the information so we can make a better decision.
So you say 4 months a year, is that between gravel and snow? That's-
The motor graders that we use as backups are just strictly snow removal. So we've got a handful, we've got
Yeah, I
6 or
didn't know
7
that.
Volvos that we use in the wintertime as for our snow, and then in the summertime, we've got our 6 or 7 blade routes that we use the cats for.
Okay, guess I didn't understand.
And yeah, you can look at it and say, well, we've got these old machines and all there are is backups, but when they break, we still gotta fix them because we still need backups for the wintertime. So.
Like your summer machines, you never use them in the winter for?
Yeah, they're
You-
used
you-
full-time.
they're used
Yep,
full-time.
they're used plus our backup, plus our,
Oh, because
we call them the backups.
you have that many more going.
Yeah, we have that many more going in the
Yep,
wintertime to
yep.
cover the routes.
Right, okay, yep. Would you keep all the Volvos, or? would
No,
you
I'd try to get rid of them.
Get rid of them and get these
Yeah,
cats?
just so we'd have a newer
Yeah.
fleet. We'd probably still have to keep a couple of them just because we wouldn't be able to, I don't wanna buy 8 of them. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
that's a lot of money.
Yep.
But if we could find a way to buy a couple of them,
Yep.
we could start piecing these other ones out. Just some thought, something to think about, ponder on. That means I have to sharpen some pencils, so. But the only way that could work is if we found a different funding mechanism, so.
Okay.
And if that's out of the cards, then we'll just forget about it. So. That's all I've got. I'll be at the Iowa Concrete Paving Association tomorrow through Friday. So.
Okay. I had somebody contact me last night. This is up by east of Mona on State Line, Glass Avenue that comes off State Line.
Okay.
It's one of them unimproved roads or whatever. And there's some hog houses down there, and the hog house people, they must clean out the hog house and pile it all on the road. And some coyote hunters were gonna go down there, and all of a sudden there's this big pile of snow.
I
that they
think
couldn't-
that's a level B section of road that we don't.
Yeah, but
use.
can they pile snow on the road and block it? That was their question.
Well, I think we've done that when we have a dead end road to the level B. I mean, the road is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are signs up saying level B not
Right.
plowed.
Right,
So,
correct, but they still use it, their hunters do, I guess,
Well,
until they come to a.
part of
big
it is
snowplow.
use at your
Yeah.
own risk if it's a level B not plowed, but
Right.
I'll go out.
But their
and take a
concern
look.
was the hog house, well, they thought, I don't know whose it is, they thought maybe Iowa Select, they
I
weren't
think they've been
sure,
doing
but-
that for years, just pushing snow out there because they know we aren't plowing it in the wintertime.
Yeah,
So
that's what
they're
they
supposed to.
blocked it, the coyote got away. So, anyway, I don't know, I thought I'd ask, and,
I'll
cause I
look at
didn't
it,
think
but I
it
don't
was
know
legal
that's
to
ever been a
pile snow
problem
on
in
the
the
road.
past. I guess I don't know that they've ever, I assume they've been piling it there for years and nobody's ever had anything to say about it because it's
Okay.
an unimproved, or it's a level B road and it's.
We don't plow it out on the south half.
Right, the south half ain't plowed, but,
Yeah, it's the
but
north
their
half.
question was, can somebody legally pile snow on the road, you know? I mean, it's a road, it's a right of way, you shouldn't.
I'm trying to think, if they're doing it or if we're actually adding to it when we plow down that road to open it up. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll talk to our operators.
A lot of them,
Yeah.
we have a sign that says road not plowed, so
Yep.
it actually just says,
Enter your
you
own
might go
risk.
down there, you might get stuck,
Right.
because there might be a 6-foot bank,
Yep.
so.
Yeah. I mean,
And
Just
it's
as
your
long as
own
they're
risk, no
piled.
matter who put the snow there.
Just as
Yeah,
long as their
but I just thought
pile
you
is
couldn't-
beyond
They're-
the
they're-
signs,
Their
you know.
deal was that you thought you couldn't pile snow on the travel portion of the roadway, you know, which,
On a legal open road, yeah, I mean,
well,
being
that
a,
road's-
being a level B and we've notified them that we're not plowing it,
Yeah.
it's a little different situation. Because I know we've had trouble in the past, I think, when people were still going down level B roads, getting stuck and calling the neighbors to pull them out. Then we started piling snow on the road just to keep people from trying to get through there.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, I said I'd ask.
I'll look into it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, would you
I
let me
think
know?
either way, it's a big deal.
It was to them.
Well,
Well,
they're
again,
chasing a coyote.
It's not plowed.
I don't know which way they were going. Were they going from the, they
I'm
must have
not
been maybe coming from the, who knows?
Yeah, I don't
Doesn't
know.
feel like really
They come to
matter.
the pile and,
It's a cost savings thing for the county to do the level B.
oh, yeah,
roads.
yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
and-
yeah, they don't say,
Um,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but the coyote,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But they were, just because the snow pile was there from the
Right.
hog
Yeah.
house is what they were concerned, you know,
Okay.
didn't think was right. Okay, that's all I
Well, if
have.
the road was open, if they drove fast enough.
Well, they did. They couldn't.
I mean,
they
that
couldn't clear
road in the
pile.
summertime is just a couple wheel paths is all it is.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
yep.
okay.
Okay.
Rich, were you part of the, item 9? Were you part of that discussion?
Yeah, he is part of it, but he wasn't
I wasn't
here.
there. I was at home and I didn't have, access to log into the meeting, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, so I guess, I don't know if you want to stick around
I'll
for
stick
that?
around for it.
That'd be great. Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any more questions for Rich? Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, item number 7 is consideration and approval of wellness contract.
Looks like we'll go to 8 because Shannon's not here.
Shannon's not here, okay. Okay, go to item number 8, approve infill lot program applications. Is that you, Todd?
Well, yeah, I have them here, and I'll go ahead and read off the names on them. I know, and I talked with Sherry and Tracy, and after this, we'll all get a copy well in advance, so we all, I mean, I think we all agreed on it. It'd be nice to see what we're approving, who and where, and blah, blah.
That come up last week, so it'd be nice, yeah, if we got those.
Yeah, and so I'll read the names off, and if you guys want to look more into detail on them, maybe, you know, after the meeting, we'll have these, and then down the road, you guys will know before we even approve
Advance.
them, so. So, we have 4 of them. Randy Nerad, St. Ansgar, Keith and Linda Lieberson, Riceville, LR Builders Incorporated, Osage, and Jason Roll, Osage.
So without seeing them, they meet all the parameters of the program and,
Yep. Yep. We're, Tracy, she's here now, and we're happy with how they filled them out. Everything's good and the way we wanted it. So,
And I think she was gonna take pictures before, during, and after
Yep.
to make sure a new house was built on the property, correct?
And they have to, whenever they do demolition, they do have to submit house plans for the new build, and the demolition bill comes to us, we pay that directly. So
Okay.
there's a lot of parameters that they have to do, including what they had to get for the application itself, so.
Okay.
and we'll also have the, basically the tax dollars, I'm gonna say for the dirt, what we're getting now, and then when it's complete, she'll have that. So it'll show the difference in what we're getting today versus tomorrow, yeah.
And I do have a spreadsheet set up that we're gonna put out on our share folder, so you guys have access to it at all times. But I'll have like the previous assessed value, any information we can gather for like the family who's purchasing the building, whether they have kids, whether they're from out of town, any information like that that we can gather, that'll all be included in that spreadsheet. You guys will have access as we update that.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess we're looking for a motion and a second to approve these four.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 applications.
Mark has made a motion to approve these four. Do you have a second? I will second that then. Any more discussion on this?
Roll call, Mark?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Todd?
Aye.
Okay, maybe now we'll, since Shannon's here, we'll back up to consideration and approval of the wellness contract.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Maternity leave, we have Floyd County in here too in training because they're long-term deputy retired, so. First off, the wellness, we got this from ISAC, they always give us a cute little form. Last year, because we got 5% participation in our wellness, we saved $43,208.83 on our premiums. So that's what we're talking about today. What I'm asking is the Board of Supervisors, every year they send us the contract. And we need a motion for us to participate in the wellness contract. We can opt out, but then we aren't eligible for the 5%. And that's where we do the online, where we ask them to do assessments. This year, once again, because of COVID, they have backed off on all the extra stuff. Families or employees can do the extra stuff, the pillars, or go talk to their financial person, or different activities online to get the extra $25. But the county is only going to be held accountable for employees doing the online assessment and doing a physical. No form anymore. And I checked it out yesterday. I got online. All you do is you go into the website, and to get your credit for doing a physical, you click on it, you put the date of the physical and the provider. That's it. There's no uploading of anything, because they had a lot of counties complaining about all the extra stuff.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they're not ever going to go back to it, because I asked her specifically. But right now, to get us credit for an employee to do their physical, the employee goes in, they click on, give me credit for this, and they put the date and the provider, and that's it.
Provider or physician?
Provider, which would be the physician. I
Okay.
mean, they might be Mitchell County Regional Health, but you know, like when you get your EOBs, the provider is Dr. Nastrom or Colleen or whoever. So you put the provider.
Okay.
So that's all they want for information. They don't need to have any of the specifics of, you know, your cholesterol or any of that stuff. They're back down on that, so.
Okay.
So what I'm asking, approve it, and then to make sure who, if you do approve it, is Steve gonna still be the representative? I didn't look to see who got put on what committee, so.
I got promoted.
Oh, you got promoted?
I don't know about that.
And the requirement is that we have to have 4 meetings a year. And then we get, I think it's $30 per contract. And I haven't asked Lindsay, but last year we had 84 contracts. So it's like $2,400 we get for money to spend on wellness activities, which the last 2 years we didn't spend a whole lot. So that's why we did the party and got the $50 and $100 gift cards and stuff. So that's where that money came from to do all that. So.
Easy. That's a good promotion, you know, yeah. I think it's a good program.
Okay.
All right, I'll
So-
make a motion to approve the wellness contract.
Okay, Stephen made a motion to approve the wellness contract. Do we have a second? I will second then. Any more discussion on this?
Roll call, Mike?
Aye.
Todd?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Okay, I'll bring it back down. I think I must have left it on my desk. Did they do department head yet?
Yes,
Can I go
yeah.
back to department head really quick?
Sure can.
Just wanted to let everyone know that, I'm not sure if you're aware, our office, or the state of Iowa has an elderly disabled property tax credit that's based on a person's income. If they make less than $24,000 a year, they get to be put on a sliding fee for a credit of up to $1,000. That $1,000 is less their homestead credit. We have like 65 people in Mitchell County that are eligible for this. This year, they expanded it. The legislature passed a Senate file, can't remember the number, that expanded it to individuals over the age of 70 who apply for this up to the 250% poverty level based on their family size. This is the base year. So I want to let you guys know, because hopefully people will be talking about it. We're getting a press release. But If they qualify at the 250% poverty level, which like a family of two, if they make more than $43,550, and they're over the age of 70, this is the base year. Essentially, their property taxes will be frozen. So this year, if they're eligible, then next year, say if their property taxes were $3,000, and next year they're $3,400, the state's gonna pay the $400.
Okay, that's understandable.
So I see this, hopefully with the demographics of Mitchell County, we possibly would have a lot of people doing this, but I want everyone to know about it. So if people ask you, you can tell them, Department of Revenue's doing a press release, supposedly, I haven't heard anything. I'm talking to the senior center in Osage this week, and then next, I'm gonna try to get to St. Ansgar, but if you know of anyone, match that. The tricky part is they have to do the first year of the base year. They won't get any credit this year, but it establishes where the money stops moving up. And if they were to do it this year and like skip a couple years, they lose the base year. They have to do it every year. So if they miss a year and they file the next year, then it goes back to that previous year's amount. So and that's the same with the elderly credit. They have to file every year. So I send renewals to everyone, but I see this as a big boon for our taxpayers.
Well, yeah.
We had a lot of people last year that when it would have been really great if it would have happened 2 years ago, because the big jump last year would have not affected so many people so much. We did open up, I think I was in the 40s, and I probably got last year that decided to apply for it that hadn't before because of the increase in property taxes. So if anybody knows of anyone, or if anybody asks you about that, or if they're upset about their property taxes, always direct them to my office because they might be eligible for this.
What is it for a single? 24,
For a
did you
single
say?
person, well, okay, for the household, for the elderly, for 65 and older or disabled, it's $24,350.
That's the income.
But to get that freeze for 70 and older, just a one-person household is $32,200.
Okay.
Did you say 32?
$32,200. And that goes up with every family member. So if they've got other people living in the house, all the income counts again. But if there's like a grandma and grandpa that have, a family living with them, and there's 5 in the household, that jumps it up to $77,000, but everybody's income is counted, so.
Okay.
I see that being a great asset, so if you wanna spread the word, I'm trying to get it out there. It's
70 and older, right?
70 and older for the second part, essentially for the property tax freeze is for 70-year-olds and older.
Okay.
And like I said, this year, they might not like it, because this year they won't see anything, but this year if they apply, they stop the increases, essentially, so. I think it's gonna be great. We're excited about it. It's a little bit more work, and it's some programming for Solutions is gonna have to do it, because it's based on the current years, which we won't know until the levies are all set and we do the statements, so there's some way that they've gotta program it to show up on the tax statements, but I think it's gonna be a great thing for people.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the emergency exit signs over there in the corner, those were a temporary thing that I did like 4.5, 5 years ago. They're paper. It's a schematic of the room and where you go in case of emergency, how you exit. They're not pretty. The goal was to at some point have Adams Graphics redo them and have nice ones that are like on aluminum plate or something, so they can be removed if we paint the walls or something, because you're gonna have as much action, but there are ones that are just pretty rough. And Corey did come in our office last week, and I was like, hey, so he does have the whole schematics of the courthouse, because when you walk in the front door, there's a bulletin board to your right that has the schematics of the courthouse. He's the one that did that. So he already has it, so I asked him if he would be interested. He said he would, and if we want to, we can move forward, and he'll give us a quote of how much it would be. But they would be pre-printed nice with not just the marker and the handwritten across the bottom if you're interested. I have no idea how much it's gonna cost, because I just kind of threw it out there. I had mentioned to Rachel a while ago, that's Mark Walk's major issue, was they weren't laminated, and some of them look pretty tagged. So they have been about 4.5 years. So if you guys are okay with that, I will spearhead it and take care of it if you're okay with it.
Are we required to have those?
Yes.
I think you are, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
For
we
the
used
fire
to have
marshal.
them-
Fire marshal, you have to have.
We had to have them at the county, at the road
I'm sure they
department.
get looked at quite a bit.
Most people don't even know they're there in case of
That's right.
emergency, yeah.
That's right.
But I think by code, you're supposed to have them. I know the sheriff's office, Kurt painted them on the walls, I think. They're kind of cool, but we aren't that artistic, so,
Yeah, I'm sure they're required.
yeah. They just don't look as nice. Your guys' looks pretty good, but it's kind of hidden, so. Is that, I don't know how much it's gonna end up costing. I figured there's approximately 20 by every exit door, so. And I can find out how much it is and come back to you guys. so you
I'd
know.
like to know how much it is
Yeah.
before I say yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe find, yeah.
Might be the,
Yep,
That's it.
okay. Okay, well, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, moving on to number 9, approve safety buckets for departments.
okay. This was through our safety meeting, and this is a stop the bleed kit is basically what it is. And it consists of a tourniquet, elastic wrap, bandages, gauze, trauma dressing, a chest seal. Never did really figure out what the quick letter is. Litter. Trauma shears, and then there's a duffel bag that's part of this. And we have a request here to spend, well, what our thoughts was is we would get 32 units the first year, and we would divide them out amongst the different departments, other than the sheriff's office. They have their own already. And what we're requesting is that we get the supervisors to approve up to $3,000 to spend on these 32 kits. Now, I think the cost was $2,500 plus shipping. Wasn't that what it was, Rachel? Mark, what was it?
That was, they were gonna look into it, weren't they?
Yes,
That was the
but
one that the deputy got us that price on that kit.
what we were gonna do is just get an approval, because we can't spend any money without an approval of the full board of supervisors. So that's what we're asking for, is this board to approve $3,000, up to $3,000. I don't mean we'll spend it, up to $3,000 for these 32 kits. And that will be for in case of, you know, a shooting here at the courthouse, or like for the road departments, in case somebody had a piece of equipment fall on and they need to have a tourniquet on before that piece can be raised up or they'll bleed out. Anyways, that's what this is about. Do you have anything else to add to that, Mark?
Pretty much covered it.
Rachel?
My question was, as far as road department and conservation, are these gonna be in the equipment and the guy's gonna be carrying them around with them?
This is 32 of them, so some are gonna be in the shop, and like here will be, each department has 2 in each department, was one? There would be some in shops. Again, I don't know if there'll be enough to be in all the vehicles. This is just
Yeah.
32 units.
My concern is the motor grader cab is not very big, and to have a duffel bag on the floor inside of one of those is not really too practical. So-
Again, this is for shops, maybe Merlin's pickup, maybe Adam's pickup, you know, down the road. That'll have to be addressed down the road. This is for, you know, the different departments. Some will be at home help. Shops, you've got 4 outlying shops at the county. Conservation, 32 kits will disappear fast.
Right. So I wanted Rich here because I didn't want you to be big surprised that
No,
all of a sudden
no.
we're putting duffel bags in all of your
No,
snowplow
I was just
equipment.
trying to think
so-
too, where a good place would be, I think, you know, having the foreman carry one around. One in each shop, obviously, in the office maybe where it's kind of protected a little bit. And if there's any other, I mean, if there's any other piece of equipment that we see, and I was just thinking off the top of my head, if we're using a boom truck frequently for cutting trees and brush, there's a high probability that,
Mhm.
you know, maybe in that vehicle, one would be, but whatever we get, I guess, but no, it's a good idea.
Again, this is our initial start into this. You know, it's 32 units. So it isn't going to, they'll disappear quick. But, you know, down the road, there should be something in some of these, you know, pickups. You know, somebody smashes a hand or something, or they come up on the accident scene. But road graders might be a little tougher to have that in, but that would be a down the road discussion. This is just for the initial 32 to get us into this mode of having the equipment to utilize in the event of a need, whether it be accident, equipment falling, or heaven forbid, a shooting. And along with this, down the road, we're going to have training.
He'll have input as far as where he puts the stuff. That was my thing. I didn't want you just to get all these and.
And I apologize for not making the meeting, but were there expiration dates on these things too, or, I mean, how long will they last before they need to be replaced?
That's something that we'll have to keep track of ourselves, or keep, you know, because I remember them kits that we had in, like, in my dump truck by the gloves had disintegrated, dried up, and, you know, there'll have to be some maintenance on them, some of them kits, depending on what down the road you get in equipment. But this is just initially for the stop the bleed for different departments, shops. And again, I think $2,500 was the cost. But
Plus shipping.
with shipping, it could go up, so we're, $3,000 will easily handle that. So it would be up to $3,000. All we're asking is that this board approves up to $3,000 for these 32 units.
I'll move to make a motion that we approve up to $3,000 for stop to bleed kits.
Todd has made a motion to approve this. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mark seconds it. Any further discussion on this? I was wondering, does each department pay for their own, or does it come out of their budget, or does it come out of just
I was thinking
the 99? Okay.
And before we've, just a little discussion, go back to the duffel bags. What I'd like to maybe see is, like Rich and maybe Adam, maybe we, in the smaller spaces, maybe we could see what we have and get a hard case.
Well,
you know, they went into those metal first aid kits, and then I remember the city shops, and then you can, you know, you can find a spot off where you could put them, you know, bolt them, strap them right on where they're not in the way of the operator and stuff. So I think that's just a trial and error thing for down the road to, if you wanted to put them in more vehicles.
again,
Just a
that
thought.
would be something to discuss with the wellness committee down. We're just trying to get started.
Yep, absolutely.
This is the initial jump into this, because right now, if something happens, we ain't got nothing.
But each motor grader dump trucks have a kit in there with gloves and small one. And usually somebody has a belt on and they get wrapped around there and use a stick for a tourniquet. It's crude, but
Agreed.
I mean, it's better than,
Life-saving,
Yeah.
you know.
we work in Nam, I think, for sticks and
Yep.
belts.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate to spend a lot of money, and then what I asked about expiration dates is you spend all this money and then they never, and I'm not trying to say safety's not important, but you spend all the money and they expire, then you gotta replace them, and you're always, and yeah, you save the one life and it's well worth that money, but I don't,
We spend a lot of money anymore for a what-if situation.
yeah, we do.
Yeah. And the what-if is very important when it happens, but
Yep.
there's a lot of what-ifs.
So, I mean, if we have some, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it's a good
But I
idea.
think to put them in every piece of equipment we have is probably,
Probably don't need it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
That was my concern.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
get dumped with a bunch of stuff.
This is not for all the equipment. That's up to, you know,
Okay.
other decisions down the road when you're there at the meeting.
If all the employees are aware of where they're at, and if they need one, they know where to go get one, or.
And the only thing that I'll add to this is I'd rather be able to spend this $3,000 and hope we never need to use one of them.
I agree. Yeah.
But if we don't spend it and there is one accident, and it doesn't, you know,
Yeah.
we should have had it.
Yep.
Anyways, continue.
Roll call, Steve.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Mike.
All right. Okay, moving on to item number 10, discussion and action on local option supplemental sales tax.
Service and sales tax.
Or what's that?
Service and sales tax.
Oh. So we have, the county contributes to local option sales tax. We have about $1 million in there right now. We have some, it's designed to be used for any legal use or for property tax reduction. Those are the two things. We have $1 million in there right now. We have $250,000 of commitment that so far that's committed to it. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics says that we're gonna probably earn between 50 and 50, I think it's 50, in the $50,000 range per month until the next fiscal year. So I guess what I would like to do is I'd like to take $500,000 of it and use it for property tax reduction. That's what I'm proposing. Property tax reduction does not mean people's property taxes are going down. Property tax reduction means it helps in lowering the levy rate. That's what I'd like to do.
Is that a motion?
I can make a motion. I'll move, okay, that'd be the simple way to do it. I'll move to use $500,000 of local option sales tax for the purpose of property tax reduction in the upcoming fiscal year, starting July 1st.
I will second that. Any further discussion on this? Questions?
Roll call, Mike.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Moving on. Item number 11 is appoint member to Mitchell County Public Health Board. And that is Dr. Ross's term has expired on December 31st, and I've talked to him, and he's willing to go back on for an additional, I think it's 3-year term. So, anyway, I would like to make a motion to appoint Dr. Ross to the Public Health Board.
I'll
Second.
Oh, second.
Okay. Okay, we have a second, so, and a third, so. Any discussion on this? I think he's a
Roll
good.
call, Jim.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye. Can I ask, who did you write down for a second?
Jim, he was louder.
I got you both down. Okay. Item number 12, items of note, meetings attended.
We had, the HVAC, Midwest Engineering had the pre-bid conference last Wednesday. We had 3 contractors show up. Andrew went over the, pre-bid specifications, and then we did a tour of the jail and the offices over there. All contractors appeared to be interested in what they were doing. It's not saying that they're gonna bid on it, but they seemed interested. There's a number of questions that seemed pertinent to the project. Sheriff, do you have anything to add to it as far as?
No, I don't think so. It's gonna,
Yeah.
How many contractors was it?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were they?
Mechanical Air, Casper, and Kinsa were the 3. They're not, I mean, I'm not sure where Mechanical Air is actually out of. I don't know if they're Mason City or not. I don't know that, but the other ones are a little ways away. But
Yeah. It's something, a project that size, you're not gonna get.
And they're going through some, there's been some, as contractors look at this job, they will submit Do you care if we use these pumps? Do you care if we use this type of product? So some of that comes up. So what Andrew does is he looks the specifications over, see if it compares to what we originally wanted, and if he feels it meets the design, then he sends me an email, and I usually approve them. If he thinks they're good, I will approve them, because that's why we're paying him, so. So we've had that going on.
Okay. Yep.
That's about it.
Good. Steve, you have any?
Yes. Mark and we both attended the Mitchell County Safety Committee meeting, and we discussed emergency action plans for secondary road and conservation buildings, but there really wasn't much brought up on that. And then we did the discussion on the safety buckets or the stop the bleed kits, what we just approved. We had a discussion on the security assessment by Chris Judge. And then we discussed fire extinguisher training for department personnel who would like to have it. And we're just kind of setting the dates. We're getting in touch with everybody to figure out when and where. And it sounds like the Osage Fire Department would do that training. So that's up in the air for on department heads on availability of employees. We discussed cybersecurity needs and concerns. Basically, that's about it. Mark, is there any more you want to add to that?
Did good.
Did good. All right. Well, that's it.
Well, I had a substance abuse coalition board meeting, and kind of went over the problems of Mitchell County. Is the biggest one's probably youth tobacco and some youth marijuana and underage drinking and suicide prevention is kind of the topics they highlighted. And I had a public health meeting, and Dr. Ross got reappointed now, and Amanda, the environmental health, she decided to increase her wages to kind of get her up a little closer to other counties' environmental health. She's been doing it long enough, and she seems like she's getting everything organized, so. And they went over the COVID update. There's 2,435 positive cases in Mitchell County so far, 48 deaths. And they're not doing contact tracing anymore because of the home tests and everything. So it's pretty hard it's just a waste of time to do that. Their public health, they have 88 under current census, and that's pretty much it.
I had a county social service meeting, and they brought up that Megan passed her SHRM exam. Not quite sure. Megan, if she'd come, because they thought it was a pretty good thing that passed, and I wanted to give her some public recognition today if she would.
Thank you. Yeah, SHRM, it's SHRM, Certified Professional. SHRM stands for Society for Human Resource Management. So it was a fortunate for us that I took that. So for our front course, and then for our certification.
Pretty impressed with that. And then also had a
Thank you. Thank you.
Shell Rock watershed meeting, and they're getting some money rounded up, but they're gonna find out if they got that money for the grant in February, so that's all they had.
Rachel and I went to the school for the 7th graders, working on our website. Come along pretty good. Some really came along quite well, I thought. I think Mrs. Molitor and Mr. Meyer, and with our help, we're going to start putting it together and trying to show some progress of putting it on the website. So it's pretty exciting. And then I was invited to Valent last week. Governor Grassley was there for a tour, and I never toured the place. So, I accepted. It's pretty interesting. And I also did call Jim because it was his district, and that's where I had to stop because of the quorum situation. So it went over pretty good. I had a nice question and answer at the end, and at some point in time, the plant manager and the assistant plant manager would like us all, they know Steve's been there, but like us all to come and tour it sometime, and
Yeah, I would like that.
yeah, and I know this is out to the public, but Brian said if we could work it around maybe mealtime, they would take us out for lunch or something afterwards, so.
You'll enjoy that, too.
So, sometime maybe towards springtime, the COVID numbers were kinda going up a little bit after the holidays, so I'll try and work on that for us, so,
Yeah, let us know.
okay. And that's all I had.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Now we have a clerk of court report for December. I think this is just a so noted item, correct? So,
You can read the of the New County State Review Officer found the true and correct statement of fees collected to me in my office for the month ending December 31st, 2021, for a total of $1,599.26.
okay, thank you, Rachel. Manure management.
I
Plan
have
updates.
3 McIntyre Finisher Farm, 4752 Lancer Avenue, Stacyville. Cooper Cattle, 1980 410th Street, Osage. And Cooper Hog Site number 2 at 2069 US Highway 218, Osage.
Thank you. And then we have any public comments today?
I just have a question that you gentlemen probably can answer for me in regards to the Hamlet Garland wetland area. What the sands there? That's some public interest of what are the intents and purposes of that property? Is it going to be useful for the public for walking trail, possibilities, or bike trail, or anything like that? Or is the gate just going to stay closed?
I don't know, it's currently public hunting right now.
Who do I need to talk to?
I think you'd have to get in
Probably-
touch with Adam.
probably
for-
Adam,
For
sure.
sure on it. I
Yeah.
think they had they were driving out in there and they were damaging property.
They were out there with motor vehicles?
Yeah, you used to be able to drive right out back up to the buildings and stuff. And there was some damage done out there, so
So the
they,
way it's left is kind of unfriendly to the public, so I don't know if there's some other way we can consider it. It's a great area,
Yeah.
I,
people use it, properly, if they're abusing it, I understand. So Adam would be the gentleman.
yeah,
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 I think it's like public hunting, walk-in access only now, correct? Or-
yes. It isn't that it's unfriendly, it's just that a couple of idiots made it tough for everybody else.
They're the ones that should be punished for it, and not the entire public. So, but it can be used as a walking trail.
Yeah, you,
Oh, I would think so.
Butterfly.
yep, that's what it's all about, it's just that
Well, I'll talk to
it's
Adam.
no more driving completely back there.
See what he has to say, you know,
Yeah.
the next step, see what he has to say, and then,
Express,
And I don't know what more protection needs to be there. Maybe the public shouldn't be in it, I don't know. Have an answer for some, for people in the
Yeah. Oh, but, you know, it's public hunting, so it should be free access to whoever, you know? I mean, whether you're hunting or just walking, you know?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think we're down to adjourning the meeting. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Steve's made a motion. We have a second.
Second.
How to second it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Oh. Meeting adjourned.